Good day, I am Sunwin, the team lead of Sunwin, Lautech team.
I am Tawid Oyewo, one of the members of Sunwin. What is Sunwin? Sunwin is basically a solar wind hybrid power generator. So our project is titled Development of Solar Wind Hybrid Power Generation System. Research has it that good health and well-being are two of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As it stands now, over 60% of health centers in Nigeria and in Africa have no access to electricity. That is, they have no access to lighting during childbirth, they have no access to powering some basic electrical appliances in the health centers. And this is causing a lot of mortgage, a lot of havoc in the healthcare centers. So our project is channeled towards ensuring that we power the health centers. So we have the solar system and we have the wind system. The solar system is going to generate electricity cost of 4 kilowatt hour per day, and the wind system is going to generate electricity up to 3 kilowatt hour per day. So we have a technical design.
We have already developed our prototype design. Then with the grants received from the organizers, we're going to make the main project design of our Sunwin prototype, which we have developed. Then once we have already made the main project design, we're going to then penetrate it into the market across the north, east, south and west to distribute it across the market. After which we are now going to scale up the project design, which we have sent it to the market. So once we have scaled it up, we're going to receive a feedback from our users.
We're going to set up an advocacy hub to sensitize the users as regards the usage of Sunwin.
Yes, and in conclusion, with the end of our Sunwin project, we're going to, as it's going to help in the healthcare sector to reduce the cost of producing electricity to the healthcare and education.
In conclusion, the innovation track for this particular project is energizing the health centers and also education. Thank you very much.
My name is Grace Vihenda. I lead the Kenya Airways Fahari Innovation Hub, which is where we are, this space that we are in right now. And this center was set up to support our strategic objectives of contributing to the sustainable development of Africa and becoming the pride of Africa. So there's a lot that this center does to invest in the future of our people, the people of Kenya Airways and the people of this country. So we have two main pillars. One is on the corporate innovation. So here we look at how we encourage an innovation culture across the whole company, our whole group. And then also the other part is the open innovation program, which looks at how we can bring innovation from outside of Kenya Airways into our business and bringing solutions from outside of KQ into the business. So one of the ways that we do that is that we collaborate with entrepreneurs. Currently in our cohort, we have about 8 of them doing various projects in tech and environmental projects. And we're excited because they're our first cohort, and they've also come up with a lot of good solutions that the business can use, and also that empowers even our industry. So it's not just KQ focused, and the solutions are not necessarily aviation focused, because as KQ, we are driving towards a diversification agenda. Right now, we are a 46-year-old company, and we want to use our background and our name to strengthen other areas of business that we could go into. So also this center is a big part of that diversification of Kenya Airways. And already we have a number of business units that we have in KQ. We have an academy, we have a clinic, which will soon grow into a hospital. We want to continue to grow our name also in terms of becoming a center of excellence when it comes to giving education for people who are flying, for cabin crew. We also have our cargo unit. We have Fahari Aviation that specializes in drone operations, that supports agriculture, that supports surveillance, that supports inspections, and also they've already deployed some of their services across different parastatals. The Fahari Innovation Hub was born in the times of COVID. At that time, we had our planes were packed. We felt purposeless, and there was a lockdown for a long time, which is like 3 months. So you can imagine how that was for the airline and the people who work for the airline. So it was a really demotivating time. So in that time of our deep darkness, we began to think about what can we do to help us get out of this COVID situation, or just carry us to the next step that we could take. So at that time we did a call for ideas for staff, and staff gave a lot of ideas. In fact, most of the ideas that were given at that time are what helped us come out come out of the COVID situation, because we really got to strengthen our cargo unit. We came up with the idea for a freighter. This is just a passenger aircraft where we removed all the seats and then we used it as a cargo aircraft, because at that time cargo aircraft were flying. So there's a lot of unique things that we came up with at that time that was following ideas from staff. So based on the success that we had in that period, we decided to set up an innovation hub, which will continuously churn that pipeline of ideas from staff, and it will no longer be just a one-off thing, because at that time it was one-off and was very successful. So we asked ourselves, how much more if we actually had a center that is continuously doing this? So for us, it was either we innovate or we die. Like literally, we had only either to innovate and become a better version of ourselves as an airline, or we literally just fall in the ditches and die. And then a lot of something significant that happened during that time is customer preferences began to change a lot because of COVID, and of course affected our industry. So also the Innovation Hub helped us to see how we can change with the times. We are changing with the customer, and also customizing our product in accordance to how the customer is changing and how the industry is changing. So that's how the Fahari Innovation Hub was born. And also there's a study that shows that over time, corporate innovation, this is the innovation that comes from within a company, will continue to decline. And also that is seen for organizations that have been there for more than 10, 15 years. You find that the internal capacity to continue to build innovative solutions begins to decrease. So it becomes a strategic imperative for companies to begin to see how can we bring innovations from outside of the organization. And also that's a big mandate of this Innovation Hub. How can we bring solutions from outside into our organization? How can we have an infusion of culture, especially from entrepreneurs and startups? You know, they're agile, they move quickly, they want solutions quickly, they want to disrupt, they want to build a name, as opposed to a large corporate like ours that's pretty much established, and you find a lot of times we just focus on operations and not necessarily innovation. So when you bring these two culture mixes, you find we come up with something very beautiful and some good solutions for our industry and for our organization. One of the projects that was born out of this Innovation Hub and really progressed and developed and has become a subsidiary of Kenya Airways is the Fahari Aviation. So Fahari Aviation focuses on cutting-edge aviation technology, and right now their key focus is on drone technology. So they've been able to really build a name in the industry, and they've been servicing the agricultural sector quite heavily, as well as the government, a lot of the government institutions that seek to have inspections and surveillance done in their properties. So we're very proud of that, and also looking forward to see how that pans out and grows over time, and also to continue to churn out more business opportunities for Kenya Airways and for our industry. And also we've had a lot of partners that we work with, like I mentioned before, and we would like to continue to strengthen our partnership with entrepreneurs. And it's because entrepreneurs are always thinking ahead, yeah? And so right now we have about 8 of them in our cohort. And I would like to introduce Brian. Brian, one of his project actually is very dear to us in many ways. He's working with waste plastic to produce diesel and also can produce many other things. And so he'll be talking to you about it. And also we're excited about this project because KQ also is focused on sustainability. In fact, sustainability is part of our vision and mission. And so this program, the project that Brian is doing, is also a very strategic one for us in that perspective. There's a lot of sustainability angles and agendas and perspectives that come from it. Yeah. I would like to invite you to engage with us at the Fahari Innovation Hub. We also have programs for youth and young people, and you can keep checking our websites to see the different things that we invite the public to participate in. For example, this year we're going to have an innovation challenge that will be floating. So keep your eyes out on our pages, keep your eyes out on what we're doing. You're free to reach out to us on our email address and phone number that will be provided. So I'm looking forward to engaging with you. Thank you very much.
My name is Ryan Dawson Washira Mongi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Pyro-degrade Energy. Pyro-degrade Energy, we started off as just an idea. We were looking for a solution to plastic waste because we realized that there's a lot of plastic waste, and the main reason why we figured that the main reason why we are having the issue around plastic waste is because we really don't have a use for the plastic waste. So my co-founder and I and other two members of part of the team, we started researching on several ideas or what we could do with plastics. So we realized plastics, since plastic is a byproduct of crude oil, we can actually reverse the process and create fuel from the plastics. This will address three main problems. For one, we're giving a use for plastic waste, and with our process, the plastic waste is completely eradicated from the environment. The other point that with what we are doing now, we are creating value for plastic waste. That means people will think twice before they throw away their plastic waste in their dump sites. And the third and the most important one is our end product, which is Pyro-diesel. And Pyro-diesel is a very affordable diesel alternative. It works the same as diesel. It's actually better than diesel because it has less sulfur content, and it also has less emission content because of the process of its emissions levels are much lower when you calculate it and put it at the same level with ordinary diesel, because of when you're doing so, we're cutting out the process of transporting the fuel, and that's the main bit. So we started working on this quite a while back in 2017. 2020 is when we finished with our first working model. Now, unfortunately, we ran out of money for that, so we couldn't launch the product because the money that we had at the time, it was just enough for us to actually build the machines, because we built our machines from the ground up. So we were very fortunate enough because in 2020 we saw the opportunity from Kenya Airways, the Fahari Innovation Challenge. We applied for the sustainability category, and we were very fortunate to win because since we won, now we are now working on together with Kenya Airways on commercializing our product from where we had gotten stuck from. We are now moving forward because we are now setting up a plant with Kenya Airways where we'll actually be using the plastic that they produce and sourcing additional plastics from outside to be used to manufacture pyro-diesel which now will be used to power up KQ's machinery, that the generators and all the other heavy machinery. So the process by which we convert the plastics to fuel is known as pyrolysis, which is simply we break down the plastics. We don't burn the plastics, so we break them down in a vacuum chamber. So, for example, we shred the plastics. We take the plastics, shred them, different varieties of the types of plastics. Then we have our own particular blend. So we mix the blend, and after that we load it up in our reactor and heat it up to around 600 degrees Celsius. And then after that, this is the first product that is gotten from the process. This is this is before purification process, but it's also very flammable. We also call it. It can be used as a crude. This is basically the crude oil. This is what we get before we distill. Once we distill, and then this is now our final product. This is the Pyro-HFO. This is the Pyro-diesel. Sorry, this is the Pyro-HFO. This is the Pyro-diesel. Now this is what is used as a diesel substitute. So you don't need to make any adjustments to your normal engine to use Pyro-diesel, because at the end of the day, the core component of Pyro is crude oil, because plastics are also made from crude oil. I'd mentioned earlier, a venture like ours is quite difficult to get it out on the ground running, mainly because it's quite cash intensive, and the fact that when we created the product, or we did the machinery and had our first products, we couldn't actually roll it out because we couldn't afford to get the licensing needed, because it's a very long process, and it's a bit technical. So once we got into our partnership with Kenya Airways, we formally started the process. Of the licensing process. They helped us with testing of our products, so training, mentorship. But all in all, what we're really grateful about is our partnership with them will actually ensure that we should have Pyro-diesel in the market, and earlier than we had expected. We position Pyro-diesel as a diesel alternative for industrial use or for heavy machinery. So, case in point, for Kenya Airways, we look at it as used as for powering up their ground power units, which are basically generators that power up the planes when the planes are taxiing, and also in any other of the heavy machinery around that consumes diesel. It was just my co-founder and I. For us, it was an idea. We were just playing around with several ideas. We wanted to do something around plastic waste. We're just looking for an idea that has an impact. So at the time, we were both doing different things. He was handling another innovation. I was also handling something else. So through our interaction, we decided, did a checklist of 10 ideas. And then we went minusing, and then we were left with plastic waste. So we looked at plastic waste and we were like, what can we do with the plastic waste? We considered several things to do with the plastic waste, but we realized the many ideas that we have around, the many ideas that we had at the time, all of them were not actually addressing the plastic waste problem. They were basically extending the life of plastics. So we wanted something that actually ends the life of the plastics, instead of, because when we recycle and when we do not actually solve the problem, we just postpone it for a later date. That's when we decided, what can we do with it? Because you can't burn it. Burning it is it causes a lot of pollution in the environment. And so we decided, what else can we do with it? That's when we realized, why not break it down to its original state, which is crude oil. So we started with we built a very small machine at the time, which could do the pyrolysis. So we got our results and we were happy with them. Then we tried and we got some little funding, and we built our second machine that could actually now produce on a commercial level. Yeah, so we did a lot of research because we started working on this in 2016. A lot of research has gone into it, especially getting the right combination of the plastic waste, of the plastics blend. Because as I mentioned earlier, we do not just use one type of plastics. We mix a number of plastics. We did this because we wanted to be able to consume any kind of plastics. But at the same time, not all kinds of plastics produce quality fuel. So we had to find a balance of using the plastics that don't produce very good quality fuel and the ones that produce very high quality fuel, because we wanted to consume all kinds of plastics. Our goal is to be able to not to discriminate on any kind of plastic, so that we can also take any kind of plastics, because at the end of the day we want to close the loop in the plastic value chain. Because you find that when companies recycle plastic water bottles, when it's shredded and built new plastic, most plastics can only go through 2 or 3 cycles maximum, and after that it can't be recycled again, so it ends up being thrown away. So people like us, we want to make sure now this end-of-life plastic waste has somewhere to go. When you decided to start, our first question was, yes, we want to convert the plastics to fuel, but how are you going to do it? The first way, the way to do it is called pyrolysis. And yes, there are available machinery that do pyrolysis, which you can buy, but they have a lot of limitations, and they weren't fitting our business model, because we wanted something compact and something that you don't need a very big space. So something compact and modular, something that can be very efficient on space and on production, and also on the heat source. Because most of the machines that we found were using, their source of heat was fire. So that would mean we'd need again to consume firewood or gas to put on fires to heat up the process, because we need temperatures of around 600 degrees Celsius to break down the plastics. So we were first considering using microwave energy, but at the time that was it was a bit ahead of its time. So the second best alternative that we thought of was induction heating. So we built an induction heating machine, so to speak, and that heats up our reactor, which is a vacuum chamber. A vacuum chamber where we store the plastics, vacuum it, then we heat it up using induction. We heat it up at around 600 degrees Celsius, and then the broken down, once it breaks down into gas, it's channeled into our condenser, which then liquefies the gas into the first output. After that is now we again now channel the crude into a distiller. So we distill it once or twice, dependent on the level of impurities that were there in the fuel. Working in line with the SDG for industry innovation, what we're doing with Kenya Airways is we are setting up a one-of-its-kind process, because we'll be producing fuel on site to be used on site. That would mean that we'll be reducing the impacts of climate change, because emission levels, because ordinarily the fuel needs to be transported from where it's made, so the emissions by the car made, and at the same time the plastics that we are converting into fuel more often than not would have ended up being burnt. And the burning of plastic waste is actually causes more impact on the environment as compared to even a car being driven. So, and this is just the beginning. We believe that what we are doing here with Kenya Airways can be able to be replicated to other companies in Kenya, because companies should learn to make use of their waste instead of throwing waste, because waste is actually valuable, so to speak.
Good day, my name is Nimsy. I'm the team lead of Nimsy Agro Solar Concept, an enterprise that builds solar-powered agricultural equipment. Smallholder farmers across Nigeria rely heavily on fossil fuel agricultural equipment for farm irrigation and grain threshing, but these machines are very expensive to operate, as farmers usually spend over 5,000 naira a day in fuel cost. This is adversely affecting their income and bringing about low productivity and poverty. Also, these fossil fuel agricultural equipment emit tons of carbon into the atmosphere that contributes to global climate change. In addition, poor access to drying services is causing over 50% post-harvest losses of tomatoes and pepper, estimated to be over 700,000 tons in losses per year. As a solution to these problems, we build 3 types of solar-powered agricultural equipment, and these are a solar irrigation pump, a solar grain thresher, and a solar dryer, in order to help farmers to reduce high operational costs, enhance their productivity, and curtail post-harvest losses. Our solar agri products are mobile, they have zero carbon emission, there is no need for fuel, they will improve farmers' efficiency, curtail huge losses by extending the shelf lives of tomatoes, and help farmers to save over 40,000 naira in monthly fuel cost. This will help farmers to make more money and live a better life. Our target market are smallholder farmers across Nigeria, and this market is worth over $10 billion. Our business model is offering our services on a pay-per-use and lease-to-own payment plan. The budget of $10,000 will help us to build 11 units of our solar irrigation pumps and 2 units of our solar grain thresher and dryer. This will immensely help us achieve our target of scaling our solar agri products and services to reach at least 5,000 farmers by mid-2024. Join us on this journey as we improve the agri sector of Nigeria with clean solar energy. Thank you.
Let It Code is a groundbreaking project that is aimed at providing an affordable and sustainable energy solutions to marginalized communities and individuals who lack access to reliable cooling systems. Through innovative market strategies like the pay-as-you-store and pay-as-you-go model, we offer an accessible and energy-efficient refrigeration options. Our solar-powered cold rooms are designed to cater for food industry sectors, thereby reducing post-harvest losses and environmental impacts, with a strong focus on reliability, scalability, and environmental responsibility. Let It Cold is set to make a positive impact in the lives of farmers, traders, cold drink sellers, and even distributors in Nigeria, while offering a good return on investment in just 18 months. Our solution is to provide a solar-powered cold rooms, and deployment of our solution could help reduce post-harvest loss in perishable goods by 30% and also enable federal government achieve 11% of its post-harvest reduction targets. Our product consumes less energy and with an environmentally friendly refrigerant of R600, and it also emits zero greenhouse gas. We are currently implementing our first pilot project in Dambare community, and we need the grants to help conquer our beachhead market and also expand further to Ungogo, Kumboto, and Sabongeri local government areas in Kano State. Thank you.
My name is Dinaman Valentine. I'm a co-founder of OneGrid Energies. My team and I are currently on a mission to help reduce the impact of waste plastic, thereby solving energy poverty, which will help to eliminate pollution, greenhouse gases in rural communities. Our discarded bottles, plastic bags, and packaging are choking and entangling animals, or breaking up into tiny pieces that can be swallowed, thereby releasing toxic chemicals along the way. Over 90% of seabirds are now thought to have plastic pieces in their stomachs. We want to change this narrative for 85 million people in our country, Nigeria, and beyond living off the electricity grid. The problem inspired us to start OneGrid Energies. Our innovation is a new approach to recycling waste plastic bottles, nylon, batteries by converting them into torchlights, thereby eliminating pollution, kerosene lamps, candles, and greenhouse gas emissions in rural communities. Our solution is helping women to get 2 times their normal income in their business by not buying expensive solutions like kerosene or candles. On the same hand, helping children to do their assignments at night in a conducive environment, thereby improving their health and performance in school. Our solar charging stations are headed and managed by rural women as a source of job creation and empowerment, with women paying less than $1 for a lifetime. I'm proud to let you know that our solution is helping rural women communities save $65 annually, which would have been lost. I'm excited to let you know that our plastic awareness programs in school, rural and urban communities are really making so much impact. Join us in this mission to make the world a better place. Thank you.